Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel with another video for you guys here today. And we got to talk about this Mike McCarthy slander man is getting out of control. There was an article done by the 3013 that we're going to react to where they had him as the 21st best head coach in football. I find that ridiculous, and I'm going to go through why in just a moment, but the fact that I have to talk about why Mike McCarthy is not a shitty head coach in this league is unbelievable, because I think anybody that is rational would recognize he is a good coach. I'm not saying he's the best coach in football. I don't think anybody's saying that. But it kind of tells me something about how people really look at the Cowboys, because I don't think they actually understand how things have changed here. And I think that if you're going to have a proper opinion on someone, you need to look at the body of work compared to the contemporaries and all that other stuff, right? So, before we go fully into it, if you can like the video, that'd be greatly appreciated to show your support for this video and also the channel as a whole. Also, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you stick around for more content, because over 88% of you guys watching are not even subscribed. So, if you like what you're seeing, why don't you stick around for more, right? So, let's go ahead and dive into this list, and as we go through it, I'll talk about why I think Mike McCarthy is better than some of the head coaches in front of him, right? So to start things off, you have your first-time head coaches, right? You got Jonathan Gannon, D'Amico Ryans, Shane Steichen. No real thought put into those because they haven't coached yet. Then you get into guys that have had prior coaching experience, either a year or two with their respective teams. Names like Josh McDaniels, Matt Eberflus, Dennis Allen, Todd Bowles, Robert Saleh, Frank Reich. You have Kevin Stefanski, who's been with the Browns for 3 seasons. And then you get to an interesting name in Sean McDermott, and the reason they put him at 22, he's done a lot of winning and deserves credit for that, but the combination of losing games against far inferior teams in the regular season, which hurts playoff seeding, and then getting out coached in the postseason is troubling. It seems like it's going to get harder, not easier, for this group of Bills to break through with a Super Bowl berth. I'm going to table that conversation point for just a moment, and then you get to Mike McCarthy. This is why they put him at 21. He deserves credit for back-to-back 12-win seasons in Dallas after the way his tenure in Green Bay ended, but it still feels like he hasn't played that great of a hand the last 16 years given the cards he's been dealt. This is the problem I have. You should not be grading a head coach based off of their tenure with a previous team and how they're handling a current team. I think that is one of the dumbest things that you can do when you're talking about someone that's been with a team for 3 seasons now and has done something with that organization they haven't seen in quite some time. People need to understand Mike McCarthy is the first head coach since Barry Switzer to have back-to-back 12-plus win seasons. I understand that the Cowboys have not gone all the way with Mike McCarthy, but people forget this is the 3rd year that the Cowboys just went through with Mike McCarthy. And every single year, the Cowboys have improved in one facet or another, right? Think about it this way. Missed the playoffs the first year. The second year, you lose in the wild card round. Wasn't good, but you got a shitty handheld, given to you because of the fact that you had to deal with the 49ers who went to the NFC Championship game. Then you win a playoff game. I don't care who it's against, but you win a playoff game and you lose to the 49ers again, but in a more competitive match. And the thing is the Cowboys have been a more consistent team with Mike McCarthy than those before him. Like with Jason Garrett, one year you're really good, the next year you're mid or you're terrible, and then if your quarterback gets hurt, you're SOL. Mike McCarthy has basically answered those questions. We know that if Dak Prescott goes down, or if he's here long enough with the next quarterback, if that person goes down, I have faith that this team can at least keep a game or two above what they need to be, so that we aren't like, oh, well, the season's over, guys. It's draft season now. And, of course, I'm not expecting Cooper Rush to consistently win, every single game, but it's nice if that's the case. But, it's just, I don't get it. Like, it's just Mike McCarthy deserves a lot more credit that he's getting. So I wanted to just go forward with the people that are on this list, right? Brandon Staley's ahead of Mike McCarthy. Brandon Staley, in his first 2 seasons, has done a horrific job when it matters most. And what do I mean by that? Mike McCarthy? No. Brandon Staley is responsible for why the Chargers missed the postseason in 2021. And when they got to the postseason, they should have handed the Jaguars a massive L in primetime. But you could not even get any more points after that. That's just embarrassing, bro. Blowing a lead that you did in wild card. No, Brandon Staley is not better than Mike McCarthy. Ron Rivera, I think, is a nice coach to get you on the right track, but he has yet to prove that he is the guy. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Ron Rivera, because I do like Ron Rivera, and I don't think that he's been given a fair shot because he hasn't had a quarterback, really. But at the same time, as a quarterback-driven league it is, you need to go out there to your front office and be like, I need a quarterback. And that's also why I'm not putting Ron Rivera above Mike McCarthy, because I think Mike McCarthy has done a better job of putting his team on the right track than Ron Rivera. Next, you go to Arthur Smith. They put Arthur Smith ahead of Mike McCarthy. And I think that while the Falcons have been in rebuild mode and they have punched above their weight, I don't think Arthur Smith is a better coach than Mike McCarthy. Then you go to a guy like Matt LaFleur, for example. This is why they ranked him at 17th. LaFleur's winning percentage is impressive, and when he had the NFL's MVP, they won a lot of regular season games, but faltered in the playoffs. When his quarterback wasn't playing at an MVP level, they had a losing season and didn't even make the postseason. The Jordan Love era will be the tail of the tape for LaFleur. So that's the thing, is that, you know, like, how is it that you get Matt LaFleur that high, considering how well of a job he's done with the Packers, but you're going to put Mike McCarthy way below him? Like, what the hell? Then you go to Dan Campbell. Campbell is another former teammate of mine. That, according to the article that was written by this person, they were a teammate of his. This might be a little too high for what he's accomplished thus far, but the buzz around this Detroit Lions team is real. And so that win in Lambeau in Week 18 to kick... Bro, like, I love Dan Campbell and what he's done, but again, like, he has yet to put it together. I think Detroit's on the right track. I think that they really just haven't gotten wins. But right now, Dan Campbell doesn't have a resume that's better than Mike McCarthy with what, you know, he's done in Dallas. Then you go to fucking Kevin O'Connell, the one-year head coach. 13-4, went one and done in the postseason, but Mike McCarthy's worse than this dude. Get the hell out of here. Mike McDaniel, one fucking year, 9-8. And yes, he made Tua play very well, but again, like, they were too streaky. No, Mike Vrabel, last year was the first losing season for Mike Vrabel, although he still almost got the Titans into the postseason by starting Josh Dobbs like a week after they signed him, which speaks some of the injury and personnel decisions seeing Trey Brown recently in Tennessee. I don't think Mike Vrabel, it's his fault. I think that that's really his management's fault. But, okay, you know what? Like, if you want to think Mike Vrabel is a better coach than Mike McCarthy, given with what Mike Vrabel has dealt with, I'm cool with that. That's fine. I think Mike Vrabel's done a great job in Tennessee, all things considered. Zach Taylor. Okay, now we're getting into some interesting territory. You know, all right. John Harbaugh. Okay. Even though, like, the Ravens have had head-scratching decisions when it comes to things. Doug Peterson. Okay. You know, again, 1 year, but he did turn around the Jaguars, but that's really high for a guy like Doug Peterson when it's just one fucking year. Pete Carroll at 9 geez, I didn't realize he's been with the team that he's been with the Seahawks for 13 freaking years. Wow. Brian Daboll at fucking 8. Like, you know, for one season. All right. Sean McVay at 7. Kyle Shanahan at 6. Nick Sirianni at 5. Sean Payton at fucking 4. Mike Tomlin at 3, Bill Belichick at 2, and Andy Reid at 1. Like, this is crazy. Like, if it were me, I'm going to just be honest with you guys. Like, I'm kind of going from here. Let's see. Andy Reid, okay. Bill Belichick, okay. Mike Tomlin, yeah. Sean Payton, I don't think you should grade him until he gets back in, with what we see, what happens with Denver. You could put Nick Sirianni at 4, fine, but I think that you need to have at least 3 years to see what we do there. That's just being honest with me, that's just where it is. You then go to Kyle Shanahan, okay. Sean McVay, okay. Brian Dable, I need to see another year. Pete Carroll, I guess, I don't know. Doug Peterson, 1 year. John Hart. Like, if I'm going to be completely, like, as non-biased as possible, Mike McCarthy should be at minimum in the top 15. At minimum in the top 15. You can put him wherever the fuck you want to in that top 15. I could care less. But to have him all the way down at 21 is pretty disrespectful. When you consider who else is it. Like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? If the Cowboys have a shitty season and alright, whatever, but if the Cowboys just, I'm not saying go win it all. If they make it to the Final Four and this dude is not looked at for any semblance of respect or anything, I'm going to seriously lose my fucking mind. Like, we're talking about the Cowboys finally making it to an NFC Championship game if it's done, and Mike McCarthy would be the guy that gets the job done, and it's just like, oh my god, like, what are we doing here, folks? But that's just it, guys. I don't really have much more to say other than this list is fucking stupid. Give Mike McCarthy his respect. I'm not saying the dude's the best coach in football, but all I'm saying is he's at minimum a top 15 coach in the league. You can argue he's a top 10 head coach in the league. Not saying that I'm going to push on that argument because, you look at the company that's in the top 10, definitely arguments could be had, but that's pretty much it, guys. I don't have much more to say other than this list sucks, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell. I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, have a good one. Goodbye.